¿Cómo están? Saben que esta es una entrevista, una charla que me debía y que tenía muchas ganas de hacer de hace mucho tiempo, desde que Zena Cardman iba a ser comandante de la misión Crew 9 a la Estación Espacial y por diferentes motivos, coordinación, agendas, mis viajes, entrenamiento de ella, nunca la pudimos concretar y finalmente se dio hace un par de días. La verdad, me di el placer de poder hablar con ella. Ustedes saben que Zena iba a ser comandante de la misión Crew 9, ¿no? 4 tripulantes, rotación hacia la Estación Espacial. Pero un tiempito antes del lanzamiento, finalmente fue esa misión la que fue a buscar o cedió 2 asientos para que puedan volver de órbita Butch Wilmore y Suni Williams. ¿Se acuerdan que habían despegado con la cápsula Starliner? Y bueno, fueron Zena Cardman y Stephanie Wilson quienes cedieron el asiento. Imagínense estar a punto de realizar tu primer vuelo al espacio y tener que ceder tu asiento de comandante para que 2 astronautas colegas puedan volver. Y ahí así empiezo la charla. ¿Qué fortaleza hay que tener para perderte una oportunidad así? Porque ustedes saben que volar al espacio puede ser a veces una oportunidad única en la vida, una sola vez se te puede dar. Y bueno, por suerte ahora Zena está de vuelta con la chance y va a comandar la misión Crew 11 que va a despegar ahora a fin de julio, a principios de agosto, desde acá, de la plataforma 39A en el Centro Espacial Kennedy, donde va a tener la oportunidad de hacer cientos de experimentos científicos, probablemente más de una caminata espacial, todavía no lo sabe, pero bueno, me puedo dar el lujo de hablar 10 minutos con Zena Cardman. Okay, Commander Cardman, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Likewise.
You know, I'm not going to ask you how you feel because I know, I think if I put myself in your place, I would be jumping all over, full of emotions. And this is your first space flight, and you're going to experience everything. Training for Crew 9, training again for Crew 11. But I guess there's something that you never train, which is losing a seat, like in Crew 9. Tell me, and I'm glad that you're just on the verge of doing it again. What kind of attitude you need in order to go through something like that? Because sometimes spaceflight, it could be a one in a lifetime opportunity, and you never know what could happen. But what went through your mind, and what made you be so strong to be here again?
Yeah. Great question. I think, first of all, these are incredibly privileged problems to have. Even the opportunity to train for a spaceflight is a joy. I'm honored just to be in the astronaut corps. Of course, it's a challenge to spend so many months, years preparing for something, imagining it, working with this team who now feel like friends and family, and then for it to change unexpectedly and on short notice. It's really difficult. I went through that experience first thinking that I was the one flying, but without 2 of my crewmates. And I can tell you that was not a good feeling.
Right.
Once we knew we were losing half of our crew, there's no easy answer. But of course, our crew now includes Sunny and Butch, who are on the space station. We know it's the right thing to do. We have to take risks to do hard things like spaceflight, but then once we realize we need to mitigate those risks in new or unexpected ways, we all step up. I think Nick and Alex did a phenomenal job on short notice, taking the helm, and they were ready to lead that spacecraft and lead that mission, execute a long duration space flight, and then come home again safely. And that's really needs to be applauded. I was grateful that I got to take part in it, and that crew will be with me forever. They are a huge influential part of who I am as the commander of Crew 11.
Zena, you are a marine scientist, you're a biologist, you are a geologist. You've been all over the place in different, in extreme environments on the planet. Antarctica, the North Pole, the darkest places on Earth. I want to know, when was that click, that moment that made you think, okay, now I want to go to space?
I think growing up as a kid, of course, I loved looking up at the night sky and wondering about the cosmos. I loved going to the Air and Space Museum. I loved watching IMAX movies. It wasn't until college that I started paying attention to the NASA mission. I had the opportunity to do field work in British Columbia and all over the world, really, but working with these multidisciplinary projects that were not only doing scientific research that I found very interesting, but also using these environments as analogs for how would we execute a science-driven spacewalk on a planetary surface or like the lunar surface. That's where I first met actual NASA astronauts and got familiar with the NASA mission. And the further I got in my scientific career, the more I realized I loved the operational side of that research, the teamwork aspect of it. How do you bring a dozen or 36 people into a remote location, do research, collect samples not only for yourself, but for others, and come home again successfully and still friends, which is sometimes even harder, is an exciting challenge for me. And so the thought that I get to do that now for the NASA mission as an astronaut is a great privilege.
I know that you're going to be doing tons of experiments. Is there are there some of them that are like similar or an analogy of what you've been doing in these extreme environments, like Antarctica, the North Pole, and searching for life in extreme conditions? Is something similar that you're going to be doing in orbit?
Academically, there are some research projects that are very similar to what I used to do. We'll do gene sequencing, we'll do microbial analysis, but I think really the operational analogs are more what I'm accustomed to. And so, for example, when I was going to places like Antarctica, I was getting my own data, my own science, my own samples, but I was also collecting and taking notes for people who couldn't be there in the field. And that's exactly what I'll be doing on the International Space Station. I think this is also invaluable preparation for when we are on the lunar surface or even farther afield on a place like Mars. And the scientific experts may or may not be the ones with boots on the ground. How do I become the eyes and ears and lab notebook for a much larger interdisciplinary project who aren't all there in person?
Do you see yourself in some years walking in a cavern in Mars doing something similar or you've been doing in Antarctica?
Yeah, gosh, I have a great time imagining walking on the surface of Mars. I think walking on the surface of the moon is a little more realistic. I certainly don't want to go anywhere until it's a round trip ticket,
Right.
that's for sure. But it's really amazing knowing that I'm working in an astronaut corps with people who will be walking on the moon. That's incredible to imagine.
Are you doing EVAs during your stay? It's 1, 2. How many EVAs are you doing?
Great question. We have no idea. There's a lot in flux right now. All of us are trained for EVAs. So Mike, Kimmy, and I, and then our Soyuz flying colleague, Johnny Kim, all of us are qualified to do EVAs or spacewalks. We have no idea yet how many will happen during our expedition or exactly who will be doing them. I'll be ready to support in whatever capacity I am asked.
As I mentioned at the beginning, tons of stuff are going through your mind right now. Is there something in particular that you're looking forward from this mission? A particular research, a particular moment, an EVA, which is the dream of every astronaut. What is it that you are looking for?
Yeah, gosh. For something like EVA, of course, I would be thrilled to do one. I have worked so hard to train, to qualify, to do a spacewalk, but it's out of my control. And so hanging mission success for me on that one thing that's out of my control is not setting us up for happiness or fulfillment. I will be so grateful just to get there. I have no idea how it's going to feel. I have a lot of idea of what my day-to-day is going to be like, what I'm going to be doing, but I can't possibly imagine how it will make me feel, and I can't wait to find out.
Last question. Do you believe you will have time to write some poetry in orbit?
Oh gosh, I sure hope so. I look forward to capturing what we're doing there, whether that's in writing short pieces, nonfiction, poetry, taking photographs, taking videos. I think storytelling is a critical part of what we do, and I owe it to everyone at home to share that journey.
How you write your poetry? Are you the kind of person that goes to a computer or to your phone, or you are like me that has to write everything paper and pencil?
I love jotting down ideas, paper and pencil. There's something really great about that physical experience for me. But if I'm editing, I do it on a keyboard.
Okay. Zena, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you're having this opportunity again. And I hope to see you there at the Cape when you're launching.
Thank you so much. I'll be looking for you.
Bye.
Bye.